Greetings, citizens of the world. President Trump was happy to watch something occur that hasn't happened in the last 65 years. Under Trump's presidency, we were able to watch a 65-year-long war finally come to an end, where North and South Korea finally call it quits and agree to be peaceful with each other. This was something that people from all across the world have wanted for years but was not ever able to get. Finally, it happened. This is not long after Trump had agreed to meet with North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un. Some think the peace resolutions have finally come to fruition after Trump made a stand, on Twitter, against North Korea but then agreed to meet with him. Trump agreeing to meet Jong-un may have been the breaking point for Jong-un to see things in a lighter way that shows how all countries can be allies and get along. Now we're talking about peace, denuclearization, and achieving a level of greatness that hasn't been present in over 60 years. There are talks that North and South Korea could even return the demilitarized zone back to the way it used to be. Many people wonder if this could be the end of people defecting from North Korea and the residents will have their quality of life increased. They've reportedly had a tough time over there, so the peace talks could hopefully improve life for everyone living in North Korea. South Korea will enjoy living in peace, and the topic of North Korea testing nuclear weapons and missiles could finally settle down. Of course, this comes at a time when there's a massive issue with Syria, so when one peaceful situation comes to fruition, then another violent one takes its place. American military news reported more about the peace talks. The leaders of North and South Korea, Kim Jong-un and President Moon Jae-in, respectively, are slated to meet next week, in advance of the Tri-Nation Summit with President Donald Trump sometime before May. It was reported that the two nations are going to officially put an end to the Korean military conflict, which technically lasted from 1950 to 1953 but was ended with a truce, not a peace treaty, according to the South Korean newspaper Munhwa Ilbo, which cited an unnamed South Korean official. The two nations could also discuss the demilitarized zone, DMZ, that separates them, and possibly return it to its original state, the newspaper reported. It was recently announced that North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un agreed to meet at a summit with President Trump, and that North Korea is also willing to talk denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. While the date and location of the three-way summit have not been announced, the North-South Korean meeting is set for April 27. Chinese state media also recently confirmed that Kim traveled and met with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing, in an unprecedented first visit outside his home country since becoming supreme leader in 2011. The North Korea-China meeting came ahead of the meeting with South Korea, which is said to prepare for the three-nation meeting with the United States, North and South Korea sometime before May. Trump had accepted an invitation from Kim on behalf of South Korean delegates to the U.S. in March. The White House later confirmed that President Trump and Kim would meet sometime before May, on the invitation of Kim himself. The state-run Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, issued commentary about 2 weeks after the invitation and finally hinted at a confirmation for the upcoming meeting of North Korea, the U.S. and South Korea. A possible meeting between the nations was originally the product of South Korea's efforts in February during the Winter Olympics. South Korean President Moon Jae-in first invited North Korea to a summit in April in the DMZ. Kim then invited President Trump, through a South Korean envoy, to a future meeting. While many U.S. officials are skeptical about North Korea following through with any formal meeting, supporters of diplomacy say that even the prospect of talks is an encouraging change. For the better part of last year, North Korea continued to defy international officials' pleas to cease countless nuclear missile and bomb tests, even going so far as to threaten the U.S. territory of Guam after fierce words from Trump demanding a halt to their increased military activity and bomb testing. South Korea has stated that denuclearization could be a topic of discussion during the formal meeting of the nations. But while North Korea seems to have at least paused its nuclear activity for the time being, the rogue nation has not confirmed any sort of agenda for the meeting at this point, and giving up their prized nuclear weapons indefinitely be an unexpected result. Let's hope the peace talks between North and South Korea go well and become contagious with every country. Each country working together to bring each other to the highest level of success is exactly what everyone needs. War is no good unless your country is standing up for itself and others. War in the sense of self-defense is justified, but waging war on each other for no good reason doesn't ever solve problems. What's your opinion on North and South Korea finally making peace? Share your comments and this story.